So in this video, I want to talk about something that might not be on everyone's radar, but it actually matters quite a lot. That is HYBE's game business. So this is actually the website for their game company, DRIMAGE. DRIMAGE in Korean. Actually, they changed their name recently. For those of you who aren't aware, they used to be called HYBE IM, and we're gonna talk about all these because this doesn't get as much attention as albums, concerts, or even Weavers. But HYBE has been pouring enormous amounts of money into gaming. And if you look at the numbers, the scale of these investments is impossible to ignore. Do you hear the music? Oh, yeah. This is actually the music for Rhythm Hive. Oh, it sounds familiar. We might explore the website at the end of this video, but we have a lot to cover. So for now, actually, all right. So, and why does this matter? Because the more HYBE spends here into the game business, the more it could potentially shape the company's overall future. And that could directly or indirectly affect not only, shareholders, but also as fans who want to see our artists thrive in a stable, well-managed company. Although I believe that even if the game segment fails entirely, HYBE could still operate relatively well, although I really hope that doesn't happen. And personally, I care about this issue because I want to understand whether DRIMAGE, HYBE's gaming sector or gaming department or gaming arm, so to say, is going to become a real growth driver, or if it's just a money drain that could distract the company from what it does best, which is music and content, at least so far. Okay, so let's start with the more optimistic coverage, but beforehand, let me briefly read this. Shaping the future of entertainment, one dream at a time. Okay, I guess that's why they named themselves DRIMAGE, although it's DRIMAGE though. I thought when I first heard the name, I thought it was DREAM. Ever wonder how far can entertainment evolve with technology? At DRIMAGE, we envision a world where imagination comes to life through a journey of boundless creativity with interactive media and entertainment. Interesting. All right. So let's first start with the more optimistic coverage. On September 21st, which was a couple days ago, a Korean media agency, iNews24, ran an article titled DRIMAGE Diversifies its Game Portfolio, aiming to become HYBE's new cash cow. And this piece paints the hopeful scenario. That is, DRIMAGE branching out from idle-based casual games such as Rhythm Hive, into bigger and riskier genres with Architect and Alkeron leading the charge. Those are the names of the new games. Okay, so let me read you. By Park Jung-min from iNews24. DRIMAGE diversifies its game portfolio, aiming to become HYBE's new cash cow. HYBE's gaming subsidiary, DRIMAGE, is strengthening its portfolio in the second half of the year with a lineup of new titles across different genres, including Architect and Alkeron. And let me brief you. Okay, so this is the official website or homepage for the game Architect, in Korean, Architect. Okay, and then this is the website for Alkeron, ARKHERON. Sign up for a playtest at to wish us. Okay, and let's go back to the article. The company hopes to break free from criticism that it relies too heavily on casual games and idle IP, and to secure fresh growth opportunities. The article continues. According to industry sources on September 21st, DRIMAGE will launch Architect Land of Exile, which is a large-scale MMORPG developed by Aquatree on October 22nd. First unveiled at last year's G-Star, which is a major game show event, Architect drew attention for its high-quality graphics built on Unreal Engine 5. That's the name of the engine, Unreal. Seamless open world and unique features such as flight and gliding. DRIMAGE invested about 30 billion Korean won. 30 billion, 300억 won, which is, I guess, roughly 20 million USD, 22 million USD. What do you billion? Sorry, KRW to USD. Yup, 10만, 100만, 1000만. So that's about 21.5 million USD. So DRIMAGE invested about 30 billion Korean won in Aquatree in 2023 to support development and secure publishing rights. Okay, Aquatree is the company that developed this game. Now, the company has since been promoting Architect as its flagship release for the year. At an online showcase on the September 17th, DRIMAGE highlighted key content such as Flood, Great Flood, and Tower of Giants, 범람, 대범람, 거인의 탑, reigniting interest among MMORPG fans. Now, some of you watching this video might be huge fans of game and huge gamers. I'm not. I used to play some game when I was young, but I haven't played serious games lately. So if you know more than me, I'm pretty sure you know more than me. Please share your thoughts and interest and your analysis and commentaries in the comment section, okay? DRIMAGE is also focusing on marketing Alkeron, the latest project from Bonfire Studios. And Alkeron, once again, is this one. And Bonfire Studios includes developers from StarCraft, Diablo, and Overwatch, which are major games. Interesting. Okay. Alkeron is a battle royale game where 45 players grouped into teams of 3 climb towers to compete. The title distinguishes itself with the dark, mystical universe, set item system, and non-targeting combat. DRIMAGE says Alkeron represents an important step in diversifying its portfolio. Alkeron was a game I fell in love with after playing it many times locally, DRIMAGE CEO Jung Woo-young said at a hands-on event on the 15th. Well, DRIMAGE Jung Woo-young. Do we have image? Okay, here it is. Here are pictures of the current CEO of DRIMAGE. Let's see, where are we? All right, right here. He said that at a hands-on event on the 15th, I'm confident it will bring new strengths and experiences to DRIMAGE. Founded in 2022 as HYBE IM, DRIMAGE first attracted attention with casual games leveraging HYBE's idol IP, including In the Sun with BTS and Puzzle 17. I have played In the Sun before. It was a cute little game. Let me see if they have... yeah, there we go. BTS Island In the Sun. Do you still play this? Or do you remember this? A mastery puzzle game created in collaboration with BTS members, offering rich content through various characters and customization option. The characters are super cute, and the members themselves, provided input into the creation and development of this game, right? Yeah, it's a cute little game. Back to the text, and also Puzzle 17. Do they have that in there? Astra. Okay, Architect. Oh, here we go. Puzzle 17. 17's first official game, designed by 17. Enjoy trendy vertical mastery puzzle with space decorating features. Now, back to the article. What was the criticism that the company was receiving? It was that, first of all, their first attracted they first attracted attention with casual games leveraging Hive's idle IP, such as In the Sum and Puzzle 17. But critics argued the company was overly dependent on casual formats and its parent company, Hive, casting doubt on its long-term growth potential. The company's operating losses deepened as well. And check this out. 2.1 billion Korean won in 2022, 19.7 billion Korean won in 2023, and 39.2 billion Korean won in 2024. In July, the company rebranded from HYBE IM to DRIMAGE and began preparing for a leap forward with the broader genre mix. Last month, it released O's Relight, which is a do we have this? Which is a subculture RPG developed by Makoville in Japan. All right, this one, and marking a push into overseas and niche markets. OZ Rewrite, an RPG with its emotionally resonant animation direction and immersive storytelling. The game maximizes the charm of fantasy through adventures and relationships between the characters in isekai alongside 7 rewriters. Interesting. Its 2023 release, Become a Star, Knights of Veda, has also been running for more than 2 years. Do they have that one on this website? And if you don't know about games much, just like me, I think we should try not to make judgments just based on like these images, because game industry is huge, and gaming itself is very special field, So for now, let's keep reading the article. Where is it? As Hive's arm in tech-driven ventures, DreamAge continues to benefit from the parent company's backing and external investment. Hive provided liquidity through third-party share offerings worth 10 billion Korean won in 2022 and 17.5 billion won in 2023. So far, DreamAge has raised a total of 137.5 billion Korean won in investment, boosting its valuation to about 500 billion won. Despite ongoing deficits, revenue climbed 86% year-on-year to 57.3 billion won in 2024, which is a sign of momentum. Interesting. I'll be interested in knowing the structures of that revenue, though. A DreamAge spokesperson said, "Building on a stable relationship with Hive will keep expanding our publishing and in-house development lineup. We're also investing in technology and content innovation to strengthen global competitiveness and improve both sales and profitability." Okay, so the key takeaway from this article is that Hive is betting big, pretty big, that games can become its next cash cow. And the company knows, casual idle games alone won't sustain growth. So it's making a bold pivot into serious gaming, that is, MMORPGs, like battle royals and subculture RPGs. And that pivot, of course, comes with risk, because MMORPGs and PvP games are expensive to make and expensive to market and very competitive. I know that because as a researcher and investor, I have quite a lot of interest in games as well, gaming sector. And the fact that DreamAge's losses keep widening shows how tough this business really is. But still, Hive's willingness to pump in capital, nearly 140 billion, it means that they're not walking away. Again, that's why some of us might care. I care as a fan and shareholder, fan of artists and shareholder of this company. Now, if Architect and Alkeron succeed, Hive will prove that it can compete not just in music and content, but in global gaming as well. And that would give Hive a more, could potentially get them a more stable, diversified revenue stream, which is good news for the staff, artists, and employees, since the company would have more resources and less reliance on album tour cycles alone. Although, I mean, it would have been much simpler if they simply do album tour cycles and music and content business alone. But who knows? Maybe, as the article suggests, or article hints, this guy could become a cash cow, and then Hive might become, I don't know, more profitable thanks to that. But so far, that's not what is happening. But if they flop, though, if the games flop, critics will argue that Hive is throwing music money into a black hole. That's why I'm keeping an eye on how Architect performs at launch and whether Alkeron generates real buzz in Korea's hyper-competitive PvP scene. So that was an article from September 21st. But now let's shift gears. So around the same time, DealSite, which is a Korean media agency that professionalizes in the capital market and business, and I paid attention to. I've known them for a while, but this agency media company did quite a resourceful, in-depth research into Hive's IPO controversy, right? And came up with all the details that most of the Korean media did not report on and the public did not know about, okay? So they are pretty good at researching. So this company or platform ran a 3-part investigative series that takes a harder look at DRIMAGE's financial health and their leadership and their strategic direction. Okay, so I feel like these articles weren't just surface level PR. They're much more critical and pointing out the risk and uncertainties behind the flashy announcements. So we're gonna read 3 DealSite pieces one by one, and the first one is titled "Sales Nearly Doubled, but Losses Widen." Going concern warning light. So we're gonna talk about that phrase, 존속 능력, going concern, which is a technical term in finance. Okay. All right, and the subtitle is this: Despite revenue growth, losses persist. Capital injections alone won't be enough. Real business results urgently needed. By Cho Eun-ji, journalist of DealSite. DreamAge posted strong top-line growth last year, but this year, the company is facing shrinking revenue and remains stuck in a loss-making structure. Its latest audit report even raised concerns about its ability to continue as a going concern. In other words, the issue is no longer just about future growth potential, but about whether the company can even sustain operations. Unless new releases or AI-driven businesses translate into tangible results, critics warn DreamAge may simply be prolonging its losses. According to filings with the Financial Supervisor Services Electronic Disclosure System on the 10th, DreamAge's revenue for the first half of 2025 was 20.9 billion Korean won, down 32.8% from 31.1 billion won in the same period last year. Net loss came in at 17.2 billion Korean won. While that is narrower than the 25.6 billion won loss a year ago, the company is still mired in heavy deficits. In 2024, annual revenue reached 57.5 billion won, which is an 85% jump from the previous year's 30.8 billion Korean won. But operating losses also swelled to 39.2 billion won, with net losses hitting 27.5 billion won. Gross profit was only 2.3 billion, while selling and administrative expenses soared to 41.6 billion won, far exceeding sales. As a result, cumulative operating losses from 2022 to 2024 hit 80 billion Korean won. Private one. The widening losses despite near doubled revenue stem largely from the cost structure. Okay, let's check this out. High fixed expenses, including payroll and marketing costs, ate up gains. And yes, in the gaming industry, payroll and marketing costs are huge. That's what I have heard and researched. Aggressive marketing campaigns tied to new releases failed to produce blockbuster hits, leaving the company with bigger deficits instead, the article says. Industry observers note, when the revenue base is unstable, relying only on aggressive marketing for short-term gains worsens losses. Without structural reforms, even revenue growth will quickly run into limits. External auditors explicitly stated in last year's report that it is necessary to evaluate the company's ability to continue as a going concern. This went beyond a routine warning, directly questioning the company's survival. Although DRIMAGE has relied on equity offerings and borrowing since 2022, its operations have failed to generate sufficient cash flow to address the underlying problem. For investors, just seeing the term going concern is alarming. One industry insider said, if capital injections keep repeating without any sign of performance recovery, investor trust will inevitably weaken. To secure sustainability, results from new releases need to become visible. DRIMAGE has put forward its upcoming title, Puzzle 17, along with IP-based games and AI-powered projects as its comeback strategy. But specific release schedules and outcomes have yet to be disclosed. Many in the industry believe, with even the release timeline unclear, short-term performance improvements will be difficult. By the way, when is this article released? Okay, September 17th. But since then, they had new updates about these recent games. Okay, so just take that into account. While AI integration holds technical promise, it remains uncertain whether it can evolve into a viable revenue model. The gaming industry is experimenting with AI-based features, but few cases have converted into real income. That's true. Analysts argue that to restore market trust, DRIMAGE must prove it can deliver concrete results, not just technological experiments. Speaking of which, HYBE is investing quite a lot into AI as well, namely with the company Supertone, right? AI music or music AI business, or AI sound, I guess, to be specific. And I hope that they're coming up with results that could at least support HYBE's business in the back end. You know what I'm saying? But that's another matter. Okay. For now, let's go back to the article. An industry source summed it up. With mounting losses and investor distrust unresolved, DRIMAGE is staking its future on the upcoming release of Architect. Its success or failure is seen as a single turning point that could either overturn the deficit narrative and going concern doubts, or, if underwhelming, cement the company's reputation as a loss-making business. So yeah, this article highlights both the potential and risk peril of the gaming venture. So on one hand, DRIMAGE is scaling up, right? Investing heavily, trying to diversify, and aiming for a breakout hit that everybody wants. On the other, the financials show that revenue growth without cost control only deepens the hole. And the phrase going concern is especially important because it's an accountant term for we're not sure if this company can survive in its current state, right? And that doesn't mean DRIMAGE is about to shut down tomorrow, that's not it. HYBE has been propping up with capital injections, but it does mean that patience is running, thin. And the key question is simple. Will HYBE's gamble on gaming eventually support artists with revenue streams, or will it continue draining resources that could have gone into music? Which is exactly why one question that I asked during a shareholder meeting a couple of years ago was about the game, right? Was it last year? A couple of years ago? Anyways, it was about game, right? And Architect, their upcoming title, is positioned as the turning point. Like its success or failure wouldn't just decide the company DreamAge's future, but it might shape potentially how people inside and outside HYBE judge the wisdom of this entire gaming push. You know what I'm saying? So Dealside's first article essentially questioning the company's survival if things don't change. Now the second article in the series zooms in on CEO Chung Woo-yong himself. Okay. And if the first piece was about the company's financial risk, this one is about leadership accountability. Yeah, and here we go. DreamAge CEO Chung Woo-yong. So let me read this one. Despite 130 billion Korean won in funding, CEO Chung Woo-yong's impact yet to be seen. So that's the title with the subtitle. Revenue has grown, but accumulated losses widened to 56.4 billion Korean won. Success of Architect will be the litmus test for its leadership, by the same journalist. HYBE's game subsidiary DRIMAGE, formerly HYBE IM, remains in the red 3 years after its founding, meaning they keep making losses. Supported by massive financial support from its parent company, HYBE, the firm has raised around 130 billion Korean won in that time, easing concerns about capital erosion. But profitability improvements have been slow. CEO Chung Woo-yong, who has led the company since its inception, now faces a crucial test, proving results with the launch of the major new title, Architect Land of Exile, this year. According to industry data on the 14th, DreamAge boosted its equity capital in 2024 from 700 million Korean won to 116.5 billion. By securing 107.5 billion through rights offerings and converting 34.6 billion Korean won in convertible bonds, CB. That is a lot of money. Wow, yeah, that is a lot of money. Since its establishment, the company has raised more than 137.5 billion Korean won in total, including 10 billion won via a rights issue in 2022, 50 billion in private CBs convertible bonds in 2023, and additional rights offerings worth 17.5 billion won and 109.8 billion won in 2024. Yet, accumulated deficits still stand at 56.4 billion, showing no fundamental shift into profitability. While top-line revenue has grown, losses have actually deepened. In 2022, DreamAge reported 36.2 billion Korean won in revenue and a net loss of 8 billion won. In 2023, revenue fell 14.9% to 30.8 billion Korean won, while net losses surged 161% to 20.9 billion won. Last year, revenue rebounded 85.7% to 57.3 billion won. Good, but net losses still expanded by 32.5% to 27.7 billion won. A lot of numbers, I know, that I'm spitting out. Payroll costs doubled in that period, rising from 12 billion to 24.8 billion, and had been cited as a major factor dragging down results. CEO Chung Woo-yong took charge of HYBE's IMBU division in February 2021 before being appointed CEO of DreamAge in April 2022. Wait, HYBE IMBU? Sorry, IMBU. Okay, Let me look into this later. Okay, because we have still a lot to cover. He's a veteran developer with experience at Neowiz and Nexon, where he worked on titles like Crazy Arcade and Puzzle Bubble Online. Crazy Arcade is a very famous one. In fact, I have played it when I was young. Let's see. Now, Mr. Zhang has been steering DRIMAGE from the beginning. But with 3 consecutive years of losses and no standout results so far, the performance of this year's major release will serve as a real test of his leadership. DRIMAGE has been ramping up large-scale projects and hiring aggressively in an effort to move beyond casual games. In April this year, the company also attracted an additional $30 billion in investment. Industry insiders warn, if this round of big titles fails to offset accumulated losses, the impact will extend not just to DRIMAGE, but to CEO Cheng's own future. The pressure on him to prove results through these launches is immense. Particularly, the MMORPG Architect, Land of Exile, and the publishing project, Project Torch, which is the working title, have been cited as the key drivers behind recent funding. Okay. Their success is expected to be the critical turning point in improving DRIMAGE's financial structure. Whether the company's expansion will amount to mere revenue growth or translate into actual profitability will depend on the performance of its portfolio, analysts say. Some caution that without a clear profit model, DRIMAGE could fall into a cycle of repeated capital transfusions from its parent company. Others, however, highlight HYBE's strong financial backing and its global IP portfolio as reasons to believe in DRIMAGE's long-term growth potential. Really? I don't know. Let me read that again. Others, however, highlight HYBE's strong financial backing. Yeah, but even if if you inject, continuously inject money into a business that does not make money, then it becomes a black hole. I mean, of course, if you believe in the potential that one day it will make it big, then the investments are worth it. And yeah, I don't disagree with that. But just because this company has HYBE's backing does not mean that it will necessarily hit the jackpot, though, right? But the article also notes that other analysts or other people say that HYBE's global IP portfolio could be one of the reasons to believe in DRIMAGE's long-term growth potential. Interesting. Okay. Ultimately, the company's future will be judged within 2 competing frames. That is, a loss-making subsidiary under management versus a growth bet for the future. Given that Mr. Zhang has led the company from the very beginning, industry watchers see the success or failure of Architect and Project Torch as a decisive moment that will define his leadership. I guess Project Torch turned out to be the Alkeron. Let me know if this is not correct. A DRIMAGE spokesperson said, "We expect our financial structure to improve once the key projects we are preparing start producing results. Our focus is on broadening growth potential through a new lineup and global service expansion. On rising labor cost, the company added, it was an investment necessary for growth. Going forward, we will continue working on efficiency and strengthening competitiveness." Well, let me discuss further about my own opinions at the end of this video. But for now, let's stick to the article. So this one puts a very human face on the risk. So CEO Cheng Woo-yong is not an outside executive being parachuted in, so to say, because he's been there from the start, shaping the company's direction since it was HYBE IM. And that means, again, the success and failures of the past 3 years sit squarely on his shoulders. And it's notable that payroll costs are doubling which shows the company is betting heavily on talent and large-scale development. But as investors know, headcount growth without a proven hit can turn into a liability. And the CEO now has to prove that Architect isn't just a flash announcement, like I said, but an actual turnaround engine, growth engine. And it, like HYBE is backing DRIMAGE with enormous sums of money, but the company's credibility and Mr. Zhang's own leadership are now tied to the fate of just a couple of games, right? Now, if the second article asks, can Jung prove himself? The third piece widens the frame, back to HYBE as a group, by looking at how the resignation of former CEO Park Ji-won, do you remember this one? This man, how his resignation created a leadership vacuum and left DRIMAGE with even more uncertainty. And let's read into this one. It's pretty interesting because, CEO Park, former CEO of HYBE, his background was in game. All right, this one is titled "After HYBE shaken by Park Ji-won's exit. Where does DRIMAGE go amid a leadership void?" Subtitle: After the failure of Become a Star 2, 별이 되어라 2, the company reorganizes. The fate of Architect and Alkeron will determine its comeback. Okay, so this article specifically mentions Alkeron though. All right, by 조은지, the same journalist. DRIMAGE, HYBE's game development subsidiary, has reached a critical turning point following the resignation of former HYBE CEO Park Ji-won, who had overseen much of its business strategy. The departure of the core leader, who had anchored HYBE's game business since its early days, coupled with the disappointing performance of its first publishing title, has forced a strategic overhaul. Park Ji-won is a veteran of the gaming industry, having served as CEO of Nexon Korea and COO of Nexon Japan. For those of you who don't know, this is the okay. All right, let me click on the official website. So yeah, it's a game company, one of the major game companies in Korea. Back to the article. Now, so as a veteran, having served as CEO of Nexon Korea and COO of Nexon Japan, he joined HYBE, which was Big Hit Entertainment back then. He joined the company in 2020, and he became co-CEO alongside Chairman Bang Si-hyuk, and that was a big deal. And Mr. Park elevated gaming as a future growth pillar alongside HYBE's core entertainment business, and positioned the company as a comprehensive entertainment enterprise. And he was deeply involved in the early strategy and organizational setup when HYBE launched DRIMAGE in 2022. Chairman Hitman Bang Si-hyuk once remarked, "If not for CEO Park Ji-won, we wouldn't have started the game business." And there was a very interesting interview with him. Actually, it was a speaking event where he honestly said, "I don't know a thing about game, and I've been studying games because we are doing this business." And he was very honest about it, but at the same time, he sounded like he believed in the potential of the gaming business, and I guess he was convinced by others, namely CEO Park Ji-won, about the potential. Okay. Let me finish the article first. But HYBE IM, the article says, fell short of expectations. The company's first publishing game, Become a Star 2. Does the company have Astra, Architect, OZ, Rewrite? Okay, I guess they don't even have that. 별이 되어라 2. 별이 되어라 2. Okay, so it's this one. Back to the article. So that game, which was launched under Park Ji-won's leadership, received more than 10 billion Korean won in investment, but failed to sustain its early momentum. Developer Flint shifted to its next project soon after the global launch, making long-term success difficult and stalling Park Ji-won's content strategy. Internally, criticism also surfaced that HYBE is funneling entertainment profits into a money-losing game business, which is not a good sign. I just had a sip of water. Then came a major blow. Check this out. In July last year, Park Ji-won resigned as HYBE's co-CEO after taking responsibility for a leadership conflict with Min Jin, head of HYBE sub-label Adore, the former head. Okay, his departure left DRIMAGE facing both the leadership vacuum and his first failed title. And even though HYBE did not mention an official reasoning behind the resignation of Park Ji-won, yeah, that was a major consensus. Yeah, that's a separate matter. But for now, let's keep moving. Now, filling that void is current CEO Chung Woo-young. He's a seasoned developer who worked on games like Crazy Arcade and Puzzle Bubble Online at NeoWiz and Nexon. He became GM of HYBE IMBU in February 2021, general manager, and he was appointed the first CEO of HYBE IM in April 2022. Since its founding, Chung has been directly leading game development and execution. He introduced In the Hum with BTS, which is a global hit featuring direct participation from BTS, and is now focused on the upcoming large-scale MMORPG Architect Land of Exile and its follow-up project Alkeron. Industry insiders note, if Park Ji-won drove business planning and organizational building at the parent company level, Chung Woo-young has been responsible for hands-on development and operations. With Park Ji-won's departure, HYBE's overall game strategy has shifted significantly. As part of that shift, the company rebranded HYBE IM as DRIMAGE and set new goals. Chung Woo-young must now prove the value of gaming within HYBE on his own through DRIMAGE's results. Despite Park Ji-won's exit, DRIMAGE's core development staff had continued their work without disruption. The company stated, based on our experience in developing and servicing games across multiple genres, DRIMAGE's development philosophy and growth strategy remain intact as we expand our lineup of new titles. On the role of gaming within the group, DRIMAGE emphasized, DRIMAGE will expand the boundaries of HYBE's entertainment business by strengthening in-house IP development and global publishing, evolving into an interactive media company that connects with users. We plan to roll out new titles like OZ Relight, Architect Land of Exile, and Alkeron to broaden the role and value of gaming within HYBE. Now, about that, see, as a fan of music and as a lover of music, I strongly enjoy and appreciate and love HYBE's music and content and artists and the groups, as evidence in my videos that I cover and the topics that I cover. And I strongly believe in the potential, even further potential of HYBE's music and content and the groups, and they are being loved around the world. The artists and the groups. But when it comes to games can be really tricky because sometimes a major game with so much investment put into it does not make it. It does not receive responses from the audience. Whereas, sometimes just a really super simple game with not much investment, they hit the jackpot and become loved around the world. Which is why for games it could be hit or miss. I guess to some extent, music and content, in fact, all the art, entertainment, like movies and films and dramas, could be similar. But gaming, at least from my perspective, is even trickier. But ideally, DRIMAGE could expand the boundaries of HYBE's entertainment business by strengthening in-house IP development and global publishing, as the company emphasized, and evolving into an interactive media company that connects with users. And yes, I also acknowledge the fact that there could be potential and like synergy effects that could happen that are not obvious yet. Synergy effects meaning synergies between games and HYBE IPs, right? And that could play out in the future. We'll have to see. But for now, it's not that evident, All right, let's finish the article. Building on the foundation laid by Park Ji-won, DRIMAGE under Chung Woo-young now stands at a crossroads. Beyond organizational restructuring, the company faces a test of leadership and strategic direction. The success or failure of Architect Alkeron will determine it. We've been hearing that for a long time. The company's financial turnaround and the revival of its gaming business, but also whether Chung Woo-young can establish himself as a credible leader in his own right. In particular, industry observers say the performance of these major releases will be the key litmus test for Chung's leadership. The outcome of DRIMAGE's current projects will decide not just the company's rebound, but also the future course of HYBE's overall game strategy, one analyst said. Which is exactly why I'm making this video right now, because it's an apt time around the time of releases of these two major games. So yeah, this third article is interesting because it shows how personal DRIMAGE's story really is. Like Park Ji-won was the architect of HYBE's game ambitions, this man, and his departure, triggered by an unrelated struggle in regards to Minijin, that left the subsidiary in a fragile state. I could imagine that. And without Park Ji-won's protection and influence at the HYBE group level, DRIMAGE must now prove its worth the hard way with commercially successful titles. And they gotta prove to me as a shareholder and prove to you guys as well as fans of HYBE artists. And that means DRIMAGE is no longer just HYBE's quote-unquote experiment. It's become a test of whether HYBE can branch out into tech and gaming without relying on one or two visionary leaders. And Chung Woo-young's leadership will be scrutinized even more harshly because Park is no longer there to share the responsibility. So yeah, overall, I feel like these three articles by deal sites gave us the critical view. DRIMAGE is indeed bleeding cash, and CEO Chung is under pressure, and former CEO Park Ji-won's departure has left HYBE's game business at a crossroads. But now, to balance that, before we wrap up, we should also look at this coverage of Alkeron by Chosunbiz, one of the major Korean media agencies. So unlike the deal site's financial autopsy, so to say, this piece focuses on DRIMAGE's global ambitions and its collaboration with Blizzard, one of the biggest game companies in the world, and their collaboration with Blizzard veterans, okay, which is an attempt to show where the company wants to go, not just where it's stumbling, okay. So let me read you this one, titled HYBE and Blizzard Veterans, meaning experts from with the background in Blizzard. So HYBE and Blizzard veterans join forces. Could DRIMAGE's new games, Alkeron, challenge LOL, League of Legends, and PUBG? Do you guys know PUBG? Battleground? Yep, this one, which is one of the most popular games in Korea and also around the world. I heard that its global response has been very good since its expansion into an international market. All right, this one was released on September 18th, 2025. HYBE's gaming subsidiary DRIMAGE has teamed up with Bonfire Studios, led by former Blizzard developers, to unveil its new PvP, which is player versus player, title Alkeron. By choosing the Korean market, which produced global hits like League of Legends and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds as its testing ground, the company has made its ambitions clear. Industry Eyes are now on whether this collaboration between a domestic publisher and a global development studio can deliver results. On September 15th, DRIMAGE held a press event at Gen Z GX in Seoul's Cheong District, Junggu District, where it showcased Alkeron's demo version for the first time. Attendees included DRIMAGE CEO Chung Woo-young, business chief Seo Chong-dong, Bonfire Studio CEO Rob Pardo, and game director Jeremy Craig. Okay, these are people. And COO Min Kim. The game is being developed for simultaneous PC and console release, and members of the press participated in hands-on demos during the event. DRIMAGE, which until earlier this year operated under the name HYBE IM, had built its portfolio primarily around mobile rhythm games tied to HYBE's global artists, BTS, 17 as Le Seraphim. The rebrand to DRIMAGE signaled not just a name change, but a strategic pivot to strengthen publishing capabilities and expand its reach. Under the new name DRIMAGE, we will secure games across diverse genres and expand our presence in the global market, Chung Woo-young said, marking a departure from music genre reliance and a formal entry into large-scale online publishing. Bonfire Studios, founded in Irvine, California in 2016, is led by Blizzard veterans. Let me briefly click on this. Oh, okay. I have seen this logo. Interesting. All right. Okay, so this company is founded in Irvine, California in 2016. It's led by Blizzard veterans. CEO Rob Pardo was involved in World of Warcraft and StarCraft 2. CEO Min Kim built his career in the North American online gaming market, and director Jeremy Craig also worked on Blizzard projects. Okay, so these are some of the big names from the industry. Given their shared Blizzard-style development philosophy, the studio attracted attention early on. Alkeron marks Bonfire's first large-scale project, making its execution a point of keen interest. Okay, yeah, these characters and this image kind of reminds me of, those games mentioned, like World of Warcraft and StarCraft, you know what I'm saying? And it's got that Blizzard feel to it. Even though I don't play games, I know a thing or two about the game business and industry and the trends. Okay, the game is set in a unique afterlife world, the article says. Every character is someone who has already died in the real world. Interesting. Revived with memories and emotions from their past lives. Players choose from Eternals to enter battle. Each character has a distinct backstory and personality. While competition is at the forefront, we have also built narrative layers to enhance immersion, Craig explained. Pardo added, the combination of items and battle flow creates new strategies every day. A single match can be so intense it lingers in memory all day. That is also a PR line. That it lingers in memory all day. Unlike traditional battle royale games where a shrinking circle forces encounters, Alkeron introduces periodic beacons at fixed map locations. All teams must move to these points within a set time, triggering natural clashes. We designed it so multiple skirmishes unfold within a single match, maximizing tension and unpredictability, Craig said. Zones become exposed over time, so camping until the end doesn't give an advantage. Interesting. Alkeron uses a top-down view, but with free aim mechanics rather than auto-targeting. Players must aim manually with the mouse or controller, adding shooter-style tension, which is absent from traditional MOBA click-to-cast system. Fast-paced combat and intuitive controls define Alkeron. Porto stressed. It may look like a mobile on the surface, but its DNA is closer to an action RPG and battle royale shooter. The release date remains undecided. It's too early to commit to a timeline, Porto said. We will determine launch timing once playtests give us enough confidence. Early access is under consideration. Yeah, it does say sign up for a playtest and add to wishlist on the website, on the official homepage. Let's see. The monetization model will follow a seasonal format. Each season introduces about 10 Eternals, with some rotating out. Discovering new characters and strategies will keep players coming back, Craig explained, noting that experimentation with builds and items drives replay value just as much as winning or losing. Okay, I'm gonna. Alright, and the game is being built for a simultaneous PC and console launch with internal testing showing smooth controller support on PS5, PlayStation 5, so much so that pet players ranked among the top performers. To ensure balance, matchmaking will be skill-based across platforms. Cross-play between PC and console is part of the plan, Craig said. A mobile port is not currently in scope. It will be technically challenging, Porter noted, but could be considered depending on success. Targeting the Korean market is central to the strategy. DRIMAGE is Bonfire's only overseas publishing partner. Interesting. Korea is the heart of PvP gaming, Kim said. The ability to see user reactions in real time and incorporate feedback is the key reason. CEO Chung added, PvP games can't succeed through a one-way publishing approach. We will grow alongside players, creating a collaborative experience. Internet cafes, PC bangs, are viewed as critical to success. Yeah, Korea is known for PC bangs, internet cafes, right? And very super fancy, super comfies. And since some of HYBE's artists love games, namely Seokjin, BTS Jin, and LE SSERAFIM members like Sakura, I have seen the artists making like variety contents, entertainment contents at PC bangs on their YouTube channels. And Jin has done that for one of the Run Jin videos, if I remember correctly. So the article says, internet cafes, aka PC bangs, are viewed as critical to success. We are in talks with major PC cafe vendors to ensure effective rollout, Seoul said. Progress has already been meaningful. Korea is the market where both PUBG, and League of Legends scaled from PC bangs into global esports. If Alkeron takes root there, ripple effects in international esports are expected. Alkeron is optimized for a community-driven tournament ecosystem, Porter concluded. We aim to leverage success in Korea to establish it as a competitive force on the global esports stage. All right. So this one is important because it shows how DRIMAGE wants to be seen, not as a deficit-ridden HYBE experiment or a black hole, as one of the articles wrote, but rather as a challenger in the global esports arena. And partnering with former Blizzard developers like Blizzard veterans gives the project instant credibility. And choosing Korea's PC bang ecosystem as the launchpad could be a smart nod to how previous global successes were born. And the article specifically mentioned PUBG and LOL, League of Legends, right? And that said, the risk still remain. Like even the best press demo can't erase the financial warnings that were highlighted by DealSide, for example. If Alkeron delivers, HYBE subtly has a stake in one of the fastest growing segments of gaming. But if it flops again, it may reinforce the narrative of DRIMAGE as a money-losing venture. So the takeaway is that, again, DRIMAGE is no longer just idle puzzle games. It's swinging for the fences with esports scale titles. and whether this gamble pays off will potentially shape Hive's future potential as a large corporation beyond music. Okay, so I think overall, DreamAge, their story as a company is like a study in contrast, because on one hand, Hive keeps pouring money into a business that's posted mounting losses since day one. On the other hand, DreamAge is taking serious swings with the games Architect and Alkeron, which are projects far more ambitious than anything it's done before. And this matters. Why? Because Hive's game business isn't just about side projects anymore. It's a test of whether Hive can truly diversify beyond music, because I guess that's something that they kept into account since, especially around the time of IPO and their transition from big hits into Hive as a major corporation. And I think this year and the next year especially will be decisive. Either DreamAge turns into the cash cow, as suggested or implied by this first article that we covered, or the warnings from deal sites will grow louder. So we'll have to see. And yeah, again, Hive has poured more than 100 billion Korean won into DreamAge with no profits yet. But the question is, let me wrap up with questions. Do you think this is a smart long-term bet, or is Hive stretching itself too far outside of music? And if Architect and Alkeron succeed, Hive could suddenly have a major foothold in gaming, I guess. Well, would that make you feel more confident about Hive's future? Or do you think the company should focus on its artists instead? And Park Ji-won's departure, the article says that left a leadership vacuum, and now everything rests on CEO Jung Woo-young, right? Do you think shareholders can trust him to deliver, given his background as a developer, but not as a corporate strategist? And Alkeron is aiming for the Korean PC and esports scene, just like League of Legends and PUBG. But do you believe that DreamAge has a real shot at competing with those giants, or is it too late to break into that market? And more broadly, should Hive even be in the gaming business, or should it double down on entertainment and leave risky ventures like this behind? So let me know your thoughts by writing in the comment section. And again, I believe in the potential of even bigger potential of Hive's music, content, artists, and groups, and their future ventures in that field. So I have nothing to complain about their expansion into Latin American music market, for example, and their projects such as Paseo La Fama and Santos Bravos. And they have recently officially set up a branch in India, which I will cover shortly. But gaming, again, is very unique, interesting, fascinating, but also could be very tricky as a business. So, yeah, again, as these articles point out, it's time for them to prove themselves, especially DreamAge. And I'm pretty sure Hive, as a parent company, especially the leadership and Chairman Bang or Hitman Bang, will be paying attention to how these projects turn out to be. Okay, so again, let me know if you have interesting thoughts or any opinions in the comment section. And as always, let's try to stay positive, respectful, and classy. Thank you, guys. I wonder how many people are gonna watch this or watch till the end. See you later. Bye bye.